it's going.
All right. Okay, so AJ, can you tell me about your classroom lesson for today or tomorrow?
We are focusing on multiplication. So my lesson is we've already kind of started talking about equal groups, and now we're kind of throwing it all together. So tomorrow will be a little bit of review and furthering our understanding of multiplication.
Okay. And how are you going to review?
So first, our review is we're going to think, pair, share. So I'm going to have students sit next to each other. They're going to discuss what equal groups and repeated addition mean. And then I'm going to pull sticks from my teacher cup. And I'm going to call on some students to share what equal groups and repeated addition mean and how they relate to one another.
Okay. And so students are sitting, so they're in desks. Are they in collaborative groups?
They're in desks. For our, in the beginning, they'll be at desks.
Okay. And how many students are in your class?
I have 30.
Students. And can you describe the different types of students that you're teaching?
We have about 50% of my students are actually English language learners, and the other, about a third of them are below average for what they should be at third grade level.
Okay.
It's a very diverse group.
Okay. And what kind of strategies do you use for your English learners and for your students that you think are below grade level?
So actually, about once a month, I change up their desks, and the way I seat them, I do based on, behavior, number one. But then number two, I go on who could be grouped well together to where, like, maybe a student who's at level or a little bit higher than grade level, they're next to someone who's below. So that way when we do think, pair, shares, they have partners that can kind of review with them instead of them being left on their own and not getting an opportunity to talk about it.
Okay. Are you going to be using any technology in this lesson?
Yes, I'll be using my smartboard. And that's what I have we work out of a workbook for our Go Math, and I can pull it up on my smartboard and I can follow along with the students.
Okay, and your students ever get to use a smartboard?
Yes, for this lesson they will not be using it though.
Okay. Is there so kind of just take me through your lesson plan start to finish, and while we're going through it, you can kind of tell me what you are going to see as students being on task and things that you're going to call successful for your class, so that I know where you're at in terms of what you consider on task and good things happening.
Okay, so I'll kind of go start to finish. How I'm going to start up is obviously in the beginning we're going to review what equal groups and repeated addition are and how they are related. And then I'm going to, after students discuss that, I'm going to talk about 2 new vocabulary words, products and factors. And then I'm going to demonstrate what they are and show them on the smartboard. And then after we go over that, then I'm going to pair students into heterogeneous groups. And it'll be groups of 3. And each group, I'm going to give them a slip of paper with a picture on it of equal groups. And so every group has different pictures of equal groups, and looking at those pictures, they have to decide how to make a number sentence. For example, I have 2 groups of 3 apples. The students need to understand that the sentence would look 2 times 3 equals, so on and so forth. And then they have to be able to use the vocabulary words products and factors when explaining their sentence. Once I will give students about 10 minutes to get together in their groups and discuss how to write the sentence. And then at the 10-minute mark, I'll check in. And after that, we will go around and each group will get to share and present to the rest of the groups in the classroom, and we will all go around the classroom doing that. That is our intro. Then after that, I'm going to have students take out their whiteboards and their expo markers, and they're going to come meet me at the carpet. And they all know we have a big poster in the classroom for what rules they need to be following when they're on the carpet. So I have a job each week. There's a new student doing it, but I have a scout, and my scout is looking for students who are listening, students who have eyes on teacher, students who are keeping their hands to themselves, and students who are working really hard trying to follow along with the teacher. And so we go over those rules before we start every carpet activity, and then my scout will continuously throughout the lesson look for students who are doing those things during the whole lesson, and then at the end they'll hand out golden tickets. And those golden tickets can be used at the end of the week in my student store. So during my guided instruction when at the carpet, we're going to be discussing skip counting on a number line. We already kind of did a little exploration in skip counting, and it seemed to be very confusing to my students. So today I'm actually, while on the carpet, we're going to be practicing some problems together, and I'm actually going to be, there's a line taped on my carpet, and I'm going to be showing them what it looks like to jump, say, 3 times 3, and I'm going to show what it looks like. One jump equals 3 numbers, and we're going to be going over that and doing examples and having other students come up and model as well. My way for checking for understanding is I'll be looking for students who are writing, who have the number line drawn correctly. So each problem, the number line is going to look a little bit differently, right? So if you're doing 3 times 3, one tick mark is going to be 3. The next tick mark is going to be 6. The next is going to be 9. And I'm going to be looking if they're creating their number line correctly based on what numbers we're using to multiply. And I'm going to be looking if they understand what one jump means. And then I'm also going to be looking at their finished product. Like, do they have the work on their whiteboard that they're trying to work through it? Or are they just writing an answer down that they saw someone else write on their whiteboard? I will also, after each example, I'll ask for a thumbs up that they understand, thumbs down that they don't understand, thumbs in the middle, I'm still working on it. Okay, and then after we've gone through a few problems, we'll do that for about 15 minutes. Then I will have students who, after that I ask for the check for understanding with thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down, I will ask the rest of the students to go back to their desks, and they can work with the partner right next to them, but not all the way across the room. And they will be, they can work on page 111 in their workbook, working on skip counting and repeated addition and writing number sentences together. And then for students who showed me that they're still not quite there yet, or they really don't understand, they're gonna stay back with me at the carpet, and I'm gonna do some more guided instruction with them and give them a little bit more one-on-one support. And that's going to be, and when we're finished through the whole lesson, they will be assigned their homework for the night. And that's going to be my lesson.
All right. Okay, so just to make sure I'm hitting each piece, you are going to consider students on task during your intro. You're going to consider them on task if in their groups they are able to use their vocabulary words in their sentences.
Correct.
So that's going to show on task. And then when you get to the carpet, you're going to review your rules and have a student scout to kind of help keep students on track as far as, are students listening, are they participating?
And also using the PBIS model and handing out golden tickets.
Okay, and that student will hand out the golden tickets at the end. They're going to practice their skip counting. They should be writing on their whiteboards.
Correct.
For each problem they do, they should, on task would be drawing their number line for each problem. And they should have their work written out for every problem as you go around and check.
Correct.
Okay. And how are, because you said you were going to have students helping with the number jump. How are you going to select students for that?
I'm going to switch it up each time. I'll ask we'll do about 4 examples, or I'll have 4 volunteers. So one, I will let I'll just choose out of who raised their hand. The second one, I'll pull from my number sticks. And the third, if there's someone that I see that has been not on task maybe, I'm going to call on them. And of course, I'm not going to let them struggle if they really don't. I'll ask them to phone a friend.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, do you have any other information that you think is important for me to know before we get started on this whole coaching model?
So another, I forgot to mention that, another thing that I'm looking for during this entire lesson with my students, since I do have a lot of English language learners, I am looking for specific vocabulary words. The vocab words I'm looking for are equal groups, multiply, factors, and product. Those are, that's academic vocabulary that we're learning, and I want them to be practicing using those correct vocabulary words while working on their math.
Okay, good. All right, and while we do this, so part of the coaching model is we're doing our pre-observation right now, so that I can get a feel for what you do in your classroom and what you consider on task.
Okay.
And so what will happen is we're gonna pick a California teaching standard that you want to focus on and improve on. And so when I'm actually observing you, I'll be looking for some of those pieces as evidence that students were on task, but then I'm also going to be looking for things you do in order to help that specific teaching practice that you want to improve on.
Okay.
Right? So of the teaching practices, what is something that you want to improve on?
I would like to improve on my classroom management, which is the CTSP 2.6.
Okay, good. So what specifically are you looking to improve with your classroom management?
I would like to improve transition time.
Okay.
I feel like transition time takes up a lot of wasted energy, kids talking to each other than when they shouldn't be talking, really just trying to make it more efficient. And also I would like to find a way, without me using my words, to make sure kids are staying on task. So I feel that I'm having to stop and redirect a lot to keep students on task.
Okay. And so how long is the transition time ideally for you? Like if kids are going from desks to carpet time, what does that ideal transition time look like?
So getting their whiteboards out and their markers from their desk to the carpet, I would like done in 2 minutes. And right now it's taking us about 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay. All right. And do you have any specific cues or anything that you use with your kids as far as redirect, or is it
As of right now, no, I do not.
okay, so you're not all right, and so what's going to happen is we just did your pre-observation and talked about the things that you're looking to improve upon. I'm going to be looking at seeing that you do have the management pieces. I'm going to be looking for some hard evidence. So as far as your transition times, I'm going to be looking to actually time those to see how long it really takes.
Okay.
And then, so I'll be in there for the duration of your math lesson. And then we will set a time to review my observation notes and kind of talk about some things that I see and brainstorm some ways that you can improve in your classroom as best as possible.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.